Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome and please consider subscribing. And if you're my subscriber already, thank you so much for stopping by to watch my videos. Today's video is going to be about purifying your indoor air using houseplants. Houseplants are an easy way of purifying your indoor air, especially in these times when we have COVID going on and we spend most of our times out there wearing our masks. We want to come home to clean air. Most modern houses are built to be airtight, to conserve energy, especially in countries where there's extreme weather conditions, like in the winter when you have to heat your home to stay warm, and in the summer when you have to cool your home to stay cool. Because of their low cost of maintenance, house plants can be a great alternative for indoor air purifying equipment which run on energy. You can have many house plants in different parts of your house at a very low cost compared to the equipment. If you can afford houseplants and air purifying equipment, it's okay to have both of them because they can maximize your indoor air quality. One thing I have to warn you is that if you have small children or you have pets, you have to do your research so that you can bring the right plants to your home. You don't want to bring these plants which are poisonous because your kids or your pets can eat them and get sick. For all my plants, I do not underwater or overwater them, but for humidity, there's nothing I can do about it because I cannot be able to separate humidity conditions in the same house. In this video today, I'm going to talk about my top 15 houseplants which I'm growing, and they don't cost me much and their maintenance is very easy. My number one and my favorite plant is called the Pothos. The Pothos is very common in people's homes and people's offices. It's very easy to grow and to maintain. It needs low light and you don't have to water it all the time, but let the soil dry slightly between your waterings. Out of one Pothos plant, I've grown several Pothos plants, and I plant them in potting soil or I plant them in plain water. So I'm going to show you how I grow a Pothos plant in water. So you go to your Pothos, cut part of the stem this way, and then using your scissors, actually you can use your scissors to cut it and remove the bottom leaves this way, and then simply insert your Pothos in whatever container that you want to grow it in. So I'm just going to use this plastic cup to demonstrate. So you simply put it in water like this and it will start to grow, or you can just plant it in the soil and it will do just fine. The second plant I have on the list is called the peace lily. The peace lily is very beautiful, very green, very easy to grow, and it withers when it needs water. So you don't have to give it water all the time because it's going to tell you that it needs water, but don't let it be so dry. It likes to be in moist soil. It also blossoms and the flowers have a very nice scent. It's one of the plants that I've enjoyed growing without having to worry about maintenance. Number 3 in my list is called the English ivy. The English ivy is beautiful. I let it fall over my bookcase and it looks beautiful from there. It needs low indirect light. It doesn't like direct heat from the sun, and let its soil dry slightly before you water it, and it will just grow fine. Number 4 in my list is the dragon plant. I have two types of dragon plants, and both of them are very easy to grow, very easy to maintain. One has green leaves and a little bit of maroon in them, and the other one is more maroon and a little bit of green in them. Both of them, they need low light to grow, and let the soil dry slightly before you water them. Number 5 in my list is called the corn plant. Depending on what part of the world you are, you might call corn maize. This is not the real maize plant or corn plant. Its leaves just resemble the corn plant. That's why it's called corn plant. It's one of my favorite air purifying plants. It also needs low light, and its soil needs to be slightly dry between waterings. Number 6 in my list is called the snake plant, or the mother-in-law's tongue. I don't know why they gave this plant like these crazy names, but for the snake, I understand it's because its leaves look like a snake. This plant is extremely good in purifying indoor air. It needs low light, and it can do very well even with dry soil. So you don't have to worry about it drying. It just grows even when it gets very dry. Number 7 in my list is called the shelf-layer, or the umbrella plant. This plant is very, very beautiful. I have the one that is yellow and green in color. It needs bright but indirect light, and the soil needs to be dry before you water it. So if you water it when the soil is still moist, the leaves might start falling off. Number 8 in my list is called the Croton plant. The Croton plant is a very beautiful plant. It has so many colors in its leaves. Some colors are maroon, some are yellow, green, or pink, and it needs bright sunlight, and the soil needs to be slightly dry before you water it, but the soil has to be kept moist. The ZZ plant, or the Zanzibar gem, is my number 9. This is a very beautiful green plant, very low maintenance. The soil needs to be dry before you water it, and you don't have to worry about this plant. It's very easy to grow. Number 10 in my list is called the palm plant. The palm plant is a very beautiful plant. It's a great air purifier. It needs indirect light and its soil needs to be slightly dry before you water it. So if you overwater it, the plant can die. Number 11 in my list is called the aloe vera. The aloe vera is very common. Most people know it because of its medicinal properties. It needs indirect bright light. Its leaves store water and the stem stores water too. So it's less needy when it comes to water and it can survive dry soil for long periods of time. This is one of the plants that has given me a hard time because it easily dies if you give it more water than it needs. Number 12 in my list is called the anthurium or the flamingo plant. The flamingo plant is very, very beautiful, easy to grow, very rich in color. You see the green color, colored leaves and very rich red flowers. It needs well draining soil and its soil needs to be dry slightly before you water it. Number 13 in my list is called the Chinese evergreen, a very beautiful plant. It blossoms, very easy to grow. It prefers low light and dry soil between waterings. Number 14 in my list is called the fan. The fan is also a great air purifying plant. It needs low light and the soil needs to be moist all the time. So it's a very, very easy plant to maintain. Number 15 in my list is called the aglaonema. Aglaonema, it's a very beautiful, very common, easy to grow plant. It can tolerate low light very well and the soil needs to be moist to dry. But you have to do research if you have small children or pets to bring this plant to your home. Last but not least is my peperomia plant. This plant is very beautiful. It's also good in purifying indoor air. It needs well draining potting soil and bright direct light. Thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you in my next video.